What's going on, everyone? It is B. Avery with Lamont. Just my opinion reviews. Bel-Air season 4, episode 4. Brother's Keeper. Yes, yes, yes. Lamont, are you your brother's keeper, man?
Always, I'm forever my brother's keeper. New Jack City in the building.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. What you think about this episode?
Loved it. Just keeps getting better and better for me. I hate that they're leaving. I think that for the era we're living in, this is the quintessential show, multicultural, black-based show for everybody.
Yeah, man. I love it too. I love it too. And we see the aftermath of Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil hugging, kissing, and booty rubbing. She is pregnant. She is going to parks, picnics, doing yoga. She runs into Erica as well. We saw her in a few seasons ago trying to push up on Phil, talking about, hey, let's celebrate. Got the champagne. And Vivian did not whoop that butt. She could have, but hey, they did in the recap. Like, why is it every time I come in the room, you dart out of here? What did you think about the confrontation between Aunt Viv and Erica at the park with both of them being pregnant?
Well, a part of me wanted to say, could they make drama and say that the baby is Phil's, Erica's, but I
Mm.
doubt they go that route. And I just thought it was natural. Even more so, I think Viv done a better job than what the average person would have done. The average person would have disavowed the girl, just ignored her, wouldn't have nothing to do with her. But because they had the commonality of being older moms, I went through that because my wife at the time was 40 plus having my first child. I get it. And I get that a bond can be built off that. But you've got to be secure in your husband for that bond to be the way that Vivian handled her business.
She did, man. She did. I didn't like the way the other woman kind of wrote her off at the park either because they was like, oh, I have some device and they can do X, Y, Z. And she's like, baby, all you got to do is swaddle the baby, put them on the stomach, and they just going to go right to sleep and everything is going to be A-OK. And they made some type of smart ass remark under their breath. And, I don't know. That just was kind of ugly to me. I can tell by the face, the look on your face, you kind of caught that too. But anyway, they can go kick rocks all the way in the freeway, blindfolded in the middle of traffic. Now, I know we have talked about the pressures of being in high school and trying to meet deadlines, trying to get this approval, trying to get Susie K to like you, and all that stuff like that. They are applying to colleges. Princeton is what Carlton wants to be admitted to. Now we know what happens in the episode, but I think, and I could be wrong, and I can only talk about my household, but let me know. I think that parents fail their children when they put all of their eggs in one basket and don't let them know, like, hey, I know this is your dream. I know this is your passion. Even if you don't get into this school, it is okay. And your life is not over. Some people don't even go to college some people don't go to college at all. Some people don't go right as soon as they graduate. Some people don't go to a university, they go to a community college right afterwards, and they still grow up to be successful. Do you feel that Carlton's parents relate that message in the most constructive way to Carlton instead of him having all this pressure of getting into Princeton? Yes, we know that he got in because he got the acceptance letter. Congratulations, Carlton. But am I tripping or am I making any bit of sense at all?
Well, I don't see where they put pressure on him to be at one school. I feel like the pressure was put on by Carlton. And I think I seem to recall a conversation he had either with the guidance counselor or with his mom, where they said, don't put all your, they didn't say don't put all your eggs in one basket, but they said you have options. And if this doesn't work out, you have other schools you can go to. But all the pressure was being applied to him from itself, from within. And I think that the parents could have done a better job of saying, look, son, if you don't get in, that doesn't make you a failure. That doesn't mean you're any less of a human being. It doesn't mean that you're any less of a great student. You've got options. Take the other options.
Right. Okay. You make 100% sense right there. And let me rephrase. Yes, the pressure was put on Carlton himself. But like you said, towards the tail end of that, I think that the parents should have just came in and took the stress off of his back. He made a comment like, "Oh my gosh, I've been fighting for this for 10 years. It's like a gorilla off my back." I kind of just wish that Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil would have came through and took the pressure off. Like, hey, Carlton, I know you want to get in, but it's gonna be okay. If I'm tripping, if I'm reaching, guys, let me know in the comment section below. I definitely want to hear your thoughts, especially coming from the parents. Now, something that I'm not reaching on is
Mhm.
Carlton is an asshole. I did not like him this episode. He did some hoe ass shit. He needs his ass whooped. He stole Amira's testimonial about her drowning in the pool nearly and near death experience. Not only did he lie to get that into Princeton, to get into Princeton, but when he was confronted with that same counselor that you was talking about, he had the perfect opportunity to come clean, like, sorry, it was me, it wasn't her. I stole her story. And he didn't do that. He just sat there and let her walk out of the room. I don't like that, man. And I have been talking Carlton up this whole season. Like, man, Carlton is really coming around. He's standing up for himself. He not being no punk. He talking with his chest, 10 toes down. Carlton giving good advice, all for him to do some stuff like this. I don't like him. Or at least in this episode. How do you feel about that confrontation he had with the counselor or the principal about him stealing Amara's story?
I think that is how a young student would behave. Someone who's not had a lot of experience in life. It doesn't make it right because I'm not saying it's right. And I think that a lot of people had some butthole moments, booty hole moments in this episode, and that was one of them. But it also highlights what I said in the very first episode we did this. Amira Keisha Cole is in love with Carlton. She's in love with him because she could have rained on his parade. His Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade could have got rained out, but she didn't do it because deep in her heart, she is in love with him. And at the end of the day, children make these mistakes. And I think that he was wrong, but we also got to put the onus on the colleges. It should not come down to a damn essay, your whole body of work through high school that is exemplary to an essay, whether or not you make it into a school.
I had a follow-up question, but you just raised an interesting point. It shouldn't come down to an essay. Well, I don't know, Lamont. If you have two students come from similar backgrounds, they both have all of the perfect GPA 4.0
Mhm.
or whatever scale they go off of in high school now. Let's just say 4.0. They have a perfect SAT, ACT scores. I don't even know if they still do that test. Um, where do you draw the line? If they have the perfect GPA, they have the perfect test scores, they have the perfect extracurricular activities, how do you make a decision? I mean, I think an essay is maybe the only way to, determine who's the better candidate. So answer that if you don't mind. Also, how do you think Amira responded to Carlton throwing her under the bus like that, in a sense?
I think Amira responded with love because she loves this boy. And the fact that she decided she didn't know how she was going to handle it to kind of just keep him a little nervous, I felt like that was well within her right.
Right.
Well within her right, even though I knew she wasn't going to say it because if she did, she would have said it in there. It was well within her right to keep him sweating bullets. Now, when you're trying to decide the ultimate test between maybe two kids that have everything, I think you just go all the way down to volunteerism. You keep going deeper and deeper. To me, it should not come to an essay, especially in today's society when you can just plug in what you want to say into AI and have them create an essay based on whoever is the person that's letting you enter into a school. I think it should come from a trial of your history and not a trial of a simple essay.
Right on. I like it. I like doing these things with you, Lamont. You always have great, positive, constructive things to say. Did you watch Girlfriends in the 2000s?
Hey man, you had girls back then. You know I had women, and if you had a woman and you black, you was forced to watch Girlfriends, and you probably started enjoying it too. I know I did.
I did too, Lamont. I did too. It was a great show. I wish it
Mhm.
was still on air. Tracy Ellis Ross spoke about it briefly in the HBO Max Issa Rae documentary Seed and Heard, and I need to do another recap on that part too. But there was a interesting polarizing character in that show by the name of Tony, and her real
Tony
name.
Childs. Tony Childs.
Jill Marie Jones. She popped up in this right here. And we I know you got some commentary. What was your first thoughts when you saw her pop up to the screen in this episode of Bel-Air?
Well, I mean, we've seen her previous seasons as a friend of Viv, and when she came in, the way she's dressed, this is kind of the character she plays in just about every show she's in. Even
Mm,
from Girlfriends to we see her on The Shy to now, she's sultry, she's sexy, and now she's coming to the role of, she's not old compared to us, but to this generation, she might be considered older, but she's letting you know that, hey, black don't crack. I
right.
got that fountain of youth juice and I'm going to keep showing you my style no matter how old I am. And that's what she did in this episode.
Yeah, yeah. I think her character's name was Pam Oliver. I could be mistaken there, but I was like, oh, that's so and so from Girlfriends, and
Yeah.
she's popping back up again. I do like her. I do like her. It was
Now,
nice.
B. Avery, the other lady that was Viv's friend was in another show that you probably didn't watch. That since I was dating women in the era, I watched the show. She was a star on the show called Army Wives, which was a really, really good show, kind of around the same time Girlfriends came out.
Okay, I'm not familiar with it. I'm assuming it had to be great since you brought it up. And
And
so,
guess who her husband was on that show?
who was the husband on the show?
Sterling K. Brown.
Really?
Yep.
Making me that little interested. I may have to check that out or something like that if you say it's worth it. But I believe you. Oh, and I just saw this. It says that Gia Marie Jones is a native in Dallas. I did not know that.
Hmm.
Born January 1975 in Dallas, Tejas. So she's got a good 9 years on me. So shout out to her. Shout out to her. Of course, she's gonna come back up here in a second. She has the connections with the marijuana, and that's going to come up a little bit later. But Lamont, man, we talked about when we're doing these recaps. Of course, Will and Carlton made the stupid ass mistakes of going to go beat up G wagons, and they got arrested. They went to jail. They went to court. It was dismissed quite early at the beginning of the last episode, which I said was disappointing. But now they have some type of community service that they have to do. Changing Promises or Promising Changes is the name of the program. And Snoop is the counselor. He is at the helm. I like Snoop in this. I like his inclusion. We're not winning any Oscars here, but I thought the acting was decent, coming from him. I thought it was better than Car Wash. What's up with the facial expressions? I gotta know. What's going on?
I mean, the acting that they gave Snoop, I mean, me and you could have done it, and we're not seasoned in that field at all. I'm rolling my eyes over the fact that it was a conundrum either way you look at it, because for one, it was stereotyping that they had a black guy being the one who's rehabbing, saying that he
Really?
was the one that committed crimes. But then again, if as a black person, if they wouldn't have had the black guy there to do it, well, we had been mad about that. But overall, I'm still rolling my eyes at Snoop taking up as a human being to Donald Trump
Mm.
early in this presidency. And then that helped him get the role of being in the Olympics. I don't like that. I like the old Snoop, and I know Snoop has done a lot for the black community and other communities. But that just made me roll my eyes because of the conundrum and because of what Snoop the person has done.
I forgot all about that. That's interesting. You know, I'm not going to take anything away from him in this episode, but I'll just go ahead and note that I did forget about that. You did mention stereotypes, though. I did notice the rest of the men, the young men in the group in the class. They were not all black. You had some blacks in there, you had some whites, you had some browns, you had some Asians. So at least they tried to sprinkle it up and have a taste of the rainbow and say, hey, everybody that makes a mistake here and there is not all dark skin. They come in
Mhm.
all different shades, and so I do appreciate that. Y'all let us know what y'all think in the comment section. But let me know what you think about this, man. We got a nice little, somewhat of a montage of Jeffrey and Uncle Phil and Jeffrey trying to get their 5 businesses to launder this money. They got a mini market, they got a car wash, they got a parking lot, they got something else. um, what do you think, man? Is this gonna go smooth as butter, or is it going to be the Rocky Mountains, volcanoes, eruptions, and stardust everywhere? How you think it's going to play out?
Bruh, this is gonna be Dante's peak at some
Mm.
point in time. We already done seen the shit hit the fan when the old mini mart guy was like, nah, I ain't fooling with this.
Yeah.
It's gonna hit the fan, and we'll get to how it ended, which makes it even worse, which was an even more worse decision on Uncle Phil. But no, even though Jeffrey said, when I'm involved, nothing is gonna happen. It's a first time for everything, my brother, and this is gonna erupt.
Yeah, Jeffrey's pissing me off. I'm gonna come back to that though. But something you said about the gentleman with the mini mart that didn't want to have nothing to do with it. What do you think his real reason was? Do you think that he was able to read the small? I mean, of course, he was able to read the small print and be like, okay, I'm gonna be a co-owner of this. For one, I don't think that Phil and Jeffrey are taking advantage of anybody in a sense. I do like the fact that they said that they're unaware, and if the crap does hit the fan, they have 100% deniability. Or they can't be accused. We're gonna make it to where they are completely unknown and unharmed. So I appreciate that. But do you think that the gentleman that turned the deal down, do you think he just turned it down because he wants to own 100% because he built it straight up, or he feels like they're kind of shady and he don't want to have nothing to do with them in their nefarious ways?
A little bit of, well, both. I think he
Okay.
feels like if, and I've run a couple of businesses and I know what it's like to have to subject yourself to someone who is 50% controlling interest in a business, and your vision might say go this way, but because they've infused your business with capital and they are partners, oftentimes they want to take over the way things go. And if you are the person who doesn't have the same amount of equity to match what they have, your voice can get drowned out, and then in court they can steal the business from you. So easily I can see why he said no, but I also think that he got a sense of these fast talking brothers. And did you see how quickly Jeffrey pulled out that damn pen of
Yeah.
destruction? I
Right.
mean, just whipped it, handed it to him, and dude was like, nah, dog, I'm not
Yeah.
feeling this. So I see where he's coming from.
Right on, man. Jeffrey is definitely coming across aggressive. He does need to dial it back. Well said about the gentleman. I kind of agree with you too. That it's both. It bothers me that they took this route with the story because we talk about stereotypes and all of that, which we should ignore, but they are still annoying. And it does affect our way of life as a people, as a community, the Black community. But I just wanted a story to where, you have this rich family, these multimillionaires, billionaires, to where they don't have to launder money to be successful. Now, we know that's not the case, but I just wanted them to have a clean, squeaky clean record. Even though their hand was forced, and their family was threatened, I still would have. We made it 3 seasons without them having to do that, and I just wish we could would have made a fourth. But why is Jeffrey also being so damn aggressive? Phil, you don't even have to be there. When I show up, things happen. Nobody says no. I'm gonna crack some heads. He didn't say that exactly, but that's what it's implied, man. What's up with Jeffrey?
His life is on the line, his son's life is on the line, and he want to keep his friend Phil out of the situation and try to keep him as squeaky clean as possible because he feel like Phil is the one who gave him a second hand up. And so you're weighing all these different things that are putting pressure on you. I can understand him wanting to protect his friend, but it's too late at this point, B. Avery. Phil is all the way in. And if Phil want to show up and help you out with whatever dastardly deeds you about to do, MI6 Jeffrey, you need to let him come. He's the reason that you are still breathing this long. Let the man come with you. But I get why Jeffrey wants to keep him out of it. But B, it's too late at this point.
Yeah, stop it, Jeffrey. Stop it. Stop it. In the intro of this episode, we got Miss Jackie speed racing down the highway with the rest of the crew. And she pops back up in the middle. She shows up at the Banks house. Hey, I got in a Juilliard. She's fine as hell. I just had to throw that in there. And
I was
Aunt
gonna
Viv,
say the fellas online love this Jackie.
yeah,
They love her.
is quite nice. She is quite nice. But they Aunt Viv puts them together and has a sit down between Lisa and Jackie and Lisa. It's still weird to me that Jackie would just show up to the crib like this, just say, hey, I made it to Juilliard. instead of a phone call or email, FaceTime. But what did you think about that sit down between Jackie and Lisa and Jackie, also with Aunt Viv being there?
Well, it was interesting to me that Aunt Viv was faced with her own advice, considering the Lamaze class she went to and the ex-friend of her husband. When she gave them the advice that they need to come together and have a sisterhood, that made her realize, okay, I have this in common with this woman. Maybe it's not so bad. And I enjoyed seeing those two, Lisa and Jackie, come together. Shout out to Jaslyn, Alicia, and Simone. You all are equally as beautiful. All three of you young ladies are just killing it. You stepping up the game, y'all baddies, and I enjoyed seeing y'all have camaraderie.
Yeah, I did too. Let me know in the comment section. Are you team Lisa or are you team Jackie? I'm very, very curious. If you're team both, it doesn't matter. But I want to know. I want to know. Now we have Jazz. He's back as well, and
Yeah.
his dispensary, his shop is not doing well, and that's where Miss Pam Oliver comes through. She was like, "Hey, we can get you started. We need a quarter of a meal, $250,000. People just don't have that laying around, unless you're white. You get that inheritance from your boomer parents and all that stuff. But we can talk about that another time. Now, I remember a few seasons ago, they wanted Jazz to sell his shop for an X amount of money. I think he probably would have got a few million for that. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure he wish he had that check right now. But Pam comes through, makes a call to Uncle Phil. He's going to invest. And not only that, man, she's interested sexually in this young man. She is a cougar, textbook
Wow.
example. It's like, hey, I'm glad I was able to help you out, but I want to help you get these draws too. Aggressive with it as well. And he's like, wait a minute now. I don't mind obliging you, but I just want to double check. Ain't you so and so's homegirl? Hey, what she don't know won't hurt her. What do you think about these paw prints that she putting on young Jazz, man? What do you think?
These going to be the best panty draws he ever got. They're going to be way better than Hillary. These, when she get finished teaching him how to do, this man is going to be unstoppable. But I don't like that he is willing to engage in this as a secret. If she's willing to do that, you've got to keep a sharp eye on someone who wants to keep something like that a secret. But I co-sign on older women because B. Avery, here's a secret. My whole life, for the most part, all that I have really and truly been able to pull in large numbers that are fine has been older women. And that's been since high school. I mean, the mother of my kids is older than me, robbing the cradle. So I can see this cougar robbing the cradle of a young thing she think look good. She's going to train them up. And now, he hit them panty draws just right, B. Avery. He'll be her business partner.
Do you think that she has an agenda, some ulterior motive, or do you think she just wants some harpoon and that's it? Some wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Um,
I just asked because it's just kind of random, and that's it can happen like that. But what do you
I
think?
think I think for the moment she wants some good peen because she mentioned that now that the kids is gone, she's having her second life and she's still good looking at whatever age she is. So, I think if the right guy come along and put it on her good enough, she might lock him down. But right now, I think she's just trying to get that back blown out, get them cheeks slapped.
Yeah, you're probably right. I always play devil's advocate and flip it on this head and just like, okay, what would the reaction be if things was turned around? If Jazz would have came on to her like that and be like, wait a minute, it's cool. We're adults. That's like no way, Jose. But that flies on the other end. Just an observation. Don't want to make it too big a deal out of it, even though I am. But I definitely am curious about everybody's thoughts as far as that's concerned too. Now, I do like callbacks to the original. You probably know what I'm talking about, but Carlton was stressed out about his school admission, and Will is too. He's doing everything that he was supposed to do on the field, on the court, but not necessarily off. He's trying to get this coach to talk to this coach and this person to talk to this person. And this person to show up to his game and be like, hey man, there's this party downtown and
Mhm.
there's this guy named Gavin, and he knows somebody. He rubs elbows with the right people. Maybe if I get in good with him, he can get me in good with the coach. So they go to this party. You've seen the episode. They doing their thing. I liked it. I liked it. I like how Gavin was trying to quiz him on if he really thought if Will was a native to West Philly and all that jazz. They have the competition. Will loses all of that. Man, what did you think about that whole encounter, that whole interaction, and the way it went down at the party?
I enjoyed this whole party had like 4 or 5 Easter eggs to the original show. So shout out to Alan Payne, the original guy that was in the barbershop with Will, and they was having a shoot off in the trash can. And Alan Payne at the time, he had a kid and he was the hot guy that was about to go to college. And Will in that original show decided to lose to him on the court so that because this man had a kid, he could get the scholarship. So they gave a call back to that. And if anybody was paying attention and you notice, one of the barbers that was in the barbershop back in the old show was actually in this scene walking away smiling when they were shooting hoops with each other. So
Wow.
nice Easter eggs. I enjoyed seeing that. And I enjoyed this scene. It was definitely a callback, but at the end of the day, I don't see somebody who's the starting point guard of a college. That's his job. He's got the job, really and truly helping someone, unless it's his boy, unless that is your boy coming who could possibly take your job. Now you do have some cats who feel like, I want to win over everything, and maybe Gavin is the type of cat I want to win over everything, and Will can help us win. But overall, I enjoyed the Easter egg, and of course, the dance was a callback Easter egg that Carlton wound up having to do as well.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Was Amara too harsh on him, making him do the dance and jump through all the hoops and all that? Such that she
No,
can help him out.
No, no, no. She was very nice because her heart is caught up in this whole thing, and we saw how it ended. And I think he took Keisha Cole for the spin cycle on that washing machine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you like them together? Do you want them to be together and their relationship to flourish?
Yes,
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. She I like her too. Well, I'm on the fence, because I remember she did make a whole story about her sister being dead and all that. That was a lot. I mean, they're painting her in a good light right now. But yeah, I guess she really does like him, man, because excuse me, her reaction to all this was quite mild. To be honest with you, I would have went to f off like, "Are you serious, mother effer? I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you did that. That is so blah blah blah." And she would have, had every right to be that upset. So it's just a bit mild to me. But like you said, man, I guess she really does like him. So have you ever shot a gummy bear into a water bottle like that from 10 feet away and made it?
absolutely not. And the day I do, I will go play 10 lottery tickets.
Already, man. I feel you there. I do like the callback though, the dance, I forgot the name. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, do the hustle.
Jump
I
on
like,
it, jump
yeah,
on it, jump on it.
I like that. They did that. They did really well afterwards. All the breakdance and the choreo. Somebody was like, not the choreography. That was cool. Carlton is doing backflips and flips and kip ups and all that stuff. So yeah, very very athletic. I need to see if oh boy Carlton has a workout routine on his Instagram story because he's in shape. He works out a lot. So he definitely doing his thing there. But
I can tell you he does. I can tell you he does. Remember, I did executive produce a short film with him. I can definitely tell you he's got a workout regimen.
Okay, okay. Appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. But they barely make it to class. And no, they don't make it. They miss it. And Snoop, he closes the door in their face. I know you said you don't like him, but I will say I like how harsh he was on them and strict. No nonsense, not giving no passes. I need asses and seats, not you running to the door. Do you find any value in the lessons that he was trying to teach these young boys?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the character is real now. The character is real. He's hard grizzled. He's obviously done something atrocious and has atoned for it. And he really wants to teach these young men how to do better. So I'm fine with the character. It's just the person playing the character that I'm having to grow with because of biasness I've had outside of the acting. But I'm fine with the character. He reminds me of Vernon Gaines from a different world. You need someone who's going to be tough love. And once you prove yourself, I'm sure he's going to start having fun with them after they can prove themselves. You on mute.
Was there anything that made you cry in this episode? Maybe when Lisa and Jack and Lisa was in the car. Going back earlier in the episode. Also, real quick before I forget, I don't know if you saw this, but they did have Hillary in this episode as well in the bottom right corner. When Carlton was opening up his acceptance letter, she was, on the video call. So I forgot about that. But after that, Vivian was like, "You girls have so much in common. Neither of you have your mother to console, to confide in, talk to. Of course, Lisa's mother passed away from lupus. It's very sad and unfortunate. But Jackie's mom is still here, but it's just not around her. She's around, but not around her. Jackie hasn't seen her since she was a child. I think she said elementary or junior high, something like that. That sucks, Lamont. Do you think? How did you feel about her calling her mom and letting her know that she got into Juilliard? Does her mom have a right to know? Is that something that you can relate to? Would you have called your mom or dad if you was in her shoes? Like, how do you feel about that?
I'm kind of in that situation. It's just that I was in the house with my mom and we just never had a good relationship. So it's basically like I was like Lisa, Jackie, but I'm in the house with said person. And to me, what she did was very adult because as an adult, even though my mom didn't do anything to foster our relationship as a child and into my 20s, I started trying to foster a relationship as much as I could tolerate to just let her know what's going on with the human being she did create, so that you can know what I'm doing. And I like that Lisa did it. Is the mama owed that? No. But is it mature for Lisa to do such a thing? Yes. So I'm cool with it. It made me think about that. And I big ups to Lisa for being a mature adult and getting over whatever pain and anguish she had because her mom wasn't there.
Yeah, I like it. Y'all let us know what y'all think too. Is Carlton and Amira even now? He wrote her a new essay and made it all nice and shiny. Is that enough to wash away his sins in stealing her story? Or he got to write 10 letters?
If that essay gets her into college, yes. But until then, no. As if that essay can give her the fruits of whatever the labor is of an essay, then yes, he's atoned. But until that point, no. But at the end of the day, I mean, she's forgiven him. She's happy with him. I mean, she took the essay, then she gave him something in exchange right there on the spot. So I think for her sake, she's good.
Right on, right on, right on. One of the last things, man, we're going to talk about is this broke my heart the most. You know that Uncle Phil is a respected man in the city, the country, the community. Oh man, Jazz just looks up to him like he's everything. Like, and he has every right to. Like, if anybody were to say any wrong thing about Uncle Phil to Jazz, Jazz in a heartbeat would be like, "What are you talking about? That is Uncle Phil, Philip Banks. He is the stand-up guy of stand-up guys of stand-up guys. I ain't ever gonna let you talking no crap about him. Just have nothing but positive things and respect to say about this man. Can trust him from now until the end of time. So that he will have no question in his mind, like, oh, do you want to help me out? You want to invest in me? You want to do business with me? Of course. You ain't even gotta ask. Tell me where I gotta sign. And little does he know that Uncle Phil is not being as transparent as he needs to. And that would just crush Jazz. It would crush anybody. It would crush me. I felt sorry for Jazz. Really felt that he was being taken advantage of here. You already said that the shit's gonna hit the fan, man. Is this gonna ruin the relationship between Uncle Phil and Jazz when the crap hits the fan and he realizes that this is not a legal deal?
It's not only going to ruin that relationship, but think about how this could break the whole family apart.
Yeah.
Because Jazz used to date his daughter, and I know the daughter's going to have something to say about that. You know, Vivian is going to have something to say because she likes Jazz. She thinks Jazz is a stand-up dude, and you know, Will is going to have something to say about it. So this could be the type of thing where Uncle Phil could be sleeping in the doghouse, and anybody who's married, you know what the doghouse feel like. He might be either in the doghouse or buying a new house if he don't fix this situation with Jazz. It is that detrimental. This could tear a family apart.
Yeah, man, it could. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous because I want that relationship to stay healthy, but it's just going to come crumbling down, man. And so, hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Jeffrey and Uncle Phil can weasel their way out of this, you know. But we do need some drama, and so we're gonna see how hard it hits. But I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous because I want this to go well. Lamont, what are your final thoughts if you haven't given them already?
I've given everything I need to say. I really enjoyed the Easter eggs and the callback and how they tied the old stuff to the new stuff. Very well done. Great job, writers.
Already, writers already. And guys, we just want to thank you again for tuning in to our Bel-Air season 4, episode 4, recap Brothers Keeper. We will be here same time, same place for next week. Gorilla Glue and duct tape. Have no idea what that's about. If you're watching this on my channel, please subscribe to Lamont's channel. If you're watching this on Lamont's channel, please subscribe to my channel. We will both really appreciate it. Links are in the description box below. Also, guys, we are covering Welcome to Derry Welcome to Derry on HBO Max. And also, if you're watching this, that new 50 Cent P. Diddy documentary on Netflix is going to be dropping tomorrow. I will be all over that. It is going to be a doozy. Again, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget, I'm B. Avery. That's Lamont. And that's just our opinion. Peace out. We'll see you next time.